Welcome to Turn Extension, a supplemental podcast for the Advanced Maneuvers YouTube channel.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Turn Extension. My name is Tony, or Polar Bear Cub on the forums.
Hey everybody, Kevin Dowdark on the forums.
Hey everybody, Devin Cutthroat Cure on the forums.
So, if you have noticed, it's been about 2 weeks since we have been on. We've had, a couple things come up with the 2 weeks beforehand, and then last week was Thanksgiving. So because of that, we decided to take 2 weeks off. So sorry about that in advance, everybody, but we are back now.
And two of the three cast members decided to go off and have babies or are getting ready for babies, so they obviously have, poor priority placement. I'm just saying.
That's true. Hey,
you guys heard it here.
Huh?
You guys heard it here. Tony and Herman are having babies.
We're having a baby together.
Together, yes.
It's gonna be Tostan.
It's a mixture between Minions and Convergence. You guys heard it here first.
That's gonna be sexy. Super sexy. Just a little hairy. It's fine.
If you noticed that it would be COM. Minions or cum.
I was gonna say cock to cum.
I hate you guys. That's why I don't play anymore around you guys. All right, so let's get started with our topics for today. So last week, new No Quarter came out, or I guess 2 weeks ago from when this podcast drops. The newest No Quarter came out, and we got two pretty big things. We got the Minions theme force, and within the battle report, we got to see a troll theme force called Band of Heroes. So let's talk about those two things to get us started.
So first and foremost, I'm going to read off the stuff that comes in the Thornfall Alliance theme force. So it basically says that your army composition can be made up using the following minion models. Minion Warlocks with the Pharaoh Warlock special rule, Arcadius, Midas, non-character Pharaoh Warbeast, Efreet models and units, which is exciting because that means that we're probably getting an Efreet unit. Pharaoh models and units, Gundren, Hutchchuck, Raylock, Moorclaw, Saxon Orc, Swamp Gobber, Chef, Victor Pendrake, and Rorschach Brine.
So
the things that we get.
Really quick, Saxon Orc and Victor, they still can't be in the same list together, correct?
No.
I'm not sure.
They used to have animosity.
And yes, Orc and Victor have animosity, and I believe they still do. I can check real quickly for you. It's Alton that gets to work with everybody.
Okay.
Well, that would still be kind of cool. I mean, that's kind of a cool thing because that means you can choose one but not the other.
Mm-hmm.
But I think something I noticed just off this first part is, as I said, Efreet models / units. And I mean, they're currently a solo, so that means that we can definitely look forward to an Efreet unit. Like right there, that's saying that that's coming.
Which is pretty awesome.
Well, is it necessarily saying it's coming, or are they just giving themselves room to grow?
I mean, it definitely says that they have ideas for it because, I mean, they put Swamp Gobber Chef solo, or, they've put Pharaoh solos. But this one specifically says Efreet models / units. So that's kind of cool.
It's nice because it does give them the option in the future if they do make the Efreet units that they don't have to find a way to shoehorn them now into this list.
And of course, the picture is the new Pharaoh Commandos, which look awesome.
They do look awesome.
So the special rules for this theme force is for every full 20 points of Pharaoh units or battle engines in the army, you can add one weapon crew unit, command attachment, or non-character solo to the army free of cost. So free units do not count towards the total number when calculating bonuses. Pharaoh Warbeasts gain Retaliatory Strike, which allows them to hit back if they are hit. And up to one Pharaoh Commando unit in this army gains Ambush.
Yeah,
Pretty legit.
The free UA was actually something that I was discussing with Gaston because when I was looking over it, I was like, so you get a unit of brigands, they're 15. You get the Razorback gun, that's 5. That's 20. That's 20 points on Pharaoh units, and the brigands basically get the Prey Warlord attachment for free. Times that by 2, and now you've got 2 full units with Prey capabilities and the field gun, or not the field gun, the Razorback gun in an army, and that's before you've even spent any points on war beasts and stuff like that, like picking up the splatter bore with the luck shot, so that your Razorbacks have a higher AOE hit potential. So there's a lot of possibilities where you could see scenarios where they're really just going hard in on that free UA.
Which, when we talk about later things, seems to be a trend.
Yes. Yeah. Well, there has yet to be of all the lists of all the themes that we've seen, including the one that we'll talk about in a little bit for trolls, there has yet to be a scenario where the themes did not give free something. Free unit, free UAs, free attachments, something where it's becoming a scenario where the growing trend is these theme lists are always going to be, oh, well, you're playing with 75 points plus your war beast. Okay, well, I'm in theme. I'm playing with 83 points plus my war beast, which, if I'm going to be completely honest, scares the crap out of me. Is this going to force us into a world where you're always going to be running themes? Like you play at a detriment if you don't.
Now, isn't this something crazy when you think about it? Like before, when we used to go into theme lists, we had one caster,
Mm-hmm.
and now these are open to 90% of the casters that fall into that line. Now, once again, with minions, you're not getting any of the gator side. And I did think it was a little bit interesting that they said all Pharaoh Warlocks were, but then they specifically pointed out Midas. And so that was definitely something strange to me. And if someone notices or knows something about that, please put it in the comments because I'm curious about that.
There's actually a reason for it. It was discussed on the Matter of Pact podcast. If you're a minion player and you don't watch Matter or listen to Matter of Pact, I highly recommend you do. Gaston out of our team works with 2 others to go over minions as a whole, and they were basically discussing that the reason that Midas and Arcadius are specifically called out as opposed to Pharaoh is because they wanted to make sure that you could still play in theme and leverage the 2 casters that have some sort of alt beast, whereas Arcadius has access to the Rager Gorax, and Midas has access to the Bone Grinders. They didn't want to have a scenario where, because you had these alt beasts, they were somehow discluded from the theme.
Oh, okay. Well, then don't put it in the comments because Kevin answered my question.
Yeah, it makes it just just the broad stroke of everything, so there wasn't the confusion like there was sometimes in Mark II.
Wow.
Yeah, they're just, it's another scenario. One of the things that I want to applaud Privateer Press on when it comes to these theme forces is they're very good about future-proofing themselves. And I think that's actually a design that they're pushing for into Mark III, which is we're trying to establish something that will hold the test of time and give Privateer Press the ability to expand out and produce new units, new warlocks, new warlocks or whatever, without necessarily feeling like they're pigeonholed to doing only a certain thing because this theme forces a scenario. Like we can't give a troll caster or we can't give a troll theme force the ability to have rerolls because what if they throw Kalandra into the mix and there's double rerolls or something like that. So it's a scenario where they're really trying to future-proof themselves, but they do it in a way that doesn't necessarily show their hand of what their next 3 years, because they always try and produce things 3 years in advance, what's their next 3-year plan. Like you were talking about the free unit. That could be a thing, but it's not a guarantee just because it shows up in the theme force. They're just future-proofing themselves so that if 5 years from now they want to do in a free unit, they can.
Yeah, free units 2017.
That is a nice thing because they did that even back in Mark II. Whenever they came out, at least with the Signar theme forces, they talked about light cavalry, and that was back in 2009 or something like that, I think, when that book came out. And we didn't get the Tempest Blazers until 2013 or 2014. Probably around 2013, I think, is when we got the Tempest Blazers. So, a good 4 or 5 year gap where we didn't have these models, but they'd planned so far in the future where, hey, we might do this at some point.
Yeah. They got to be very careful about walking that line, and we don't have a rehash of Troll Blood Highwaymen. And for the next 2 years, people going, WTF, what the hell is this?
It's definitely interesting when you think about it, because it's something I did notice that if you look at all of the new casters that came in the battle boxes, if you read the sprue mark, or the indent that says when it was casted or created, they all say 2013. Definitely something interesting.
Damn, that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, I just noticed that when I was cleaning. Darn, I'm just completely blanking. The new Menoth caster, what's his name? Malekith. When I was cleaning him, I noticed that was on there.
You heard it here, folks.
So,
Evan's playing Menoth now.
I'm a PG. I've got to have all those battle boxes ready so I can teach other wonderful people how to play subpar factions.
Oh!
Don't confuse my bubble dreams with your facts.
So let's talk about the other topic as well, and then compare and contrast, or do we want to talk about this Thornfall a little bit more, and then some of the little tidbits we've gotten so far?
No, let's put both meals on the table and decide what we're going to eat.
So with some heavy scanning and some reading, also some help from the Trollblood forums, and the Trollbloods Facebook page, we were able to use the new battle report that is in the most recent No Quarter, 69, and Heyo, and we were able to pull some of the new rules that are going to come in the theme force, which is called, so far the theme lists is that there's a +2 deployment. Warrior models are granted takedown. For every 20 points of Long Riders, Champions, or Warders, you get a free command attachment or medium-based solo. And we definitely see bits of this littered into the Trollbloods list in the No Quarter, where we see that Scaldy Bonehammer is points free due to theme force, and the Trollkin Champion Hero is 0 points free due to theme force. Once again, Kevin, this goes into that topic you were talking about where we're getting more free models.
Yeah, it's they seem to be hedging towards that concept of, because I'm starting to see a trend too where the free models that you're getting are usually support things. So if we break it out, you've got Thornfall's getting free UAs. The trolls are getting free UAs / solos, which many a time solos can be support solos. You've got the mercenary one, which is getting free solos as well, but that again is many times their solos, though they can get work done, they're usually support solos. And then you've got the Operation Theater for Cephalix, which arguably they're free. The unit, the Overlords is an actual gets work done with all their sprays and stuff like that, but they are a unit that provides a buff to the drudges that they're near. So theoretically, they're kind of they're the exception of the norm of support. So I'm wondering if this plus points is always going to be towards support, or if you're ever going to get a scenario where it's plus points and it's just a plain workhorse piece, like free Mad Dogs, which I know would throw the internet into rage, but if you take this theme, you get 2 free Mad Dogs, or if you take this theme, you get a free Juggernaut or something like that, where it's this isn't support. Please don't confuse. We're not giving you something that supports your army. We're just giving you a free beat stick.
That would be it. Yeah.
Now, do you think it's more dangerous that, and I'm saying this, and I'm going to kick myself because I know that this might come back to bite me in the ass, but do you think that it's kind of dangerous, especially when you take a faction like Trolls and you start giving out free solos? Because let's be honest, we are based on being a very support-heavy faction. And one of the, as a troll player, have to make is, do I need to bring more support or do I need to bring other things? And this force is basically saying, hey, why not have both? You know, so is this going to create where I'm able to get all of the different support that I want? You know, maybe I don't need it, but, you know, everything I need, I don't have to choose between this and that. So as, you know, takedown, which is basically like grievous wounds, but for tough.
So I think it depends on how they limit what solos you can get. So, but this says you can get any medium base solo, which is scary. I don't know.
In the Thornfall one, that it says that we get any Pharaoh solos. So it makes me wonder if they're going to do that with trolls, you know, because coming up with, you know, 20 points of long riders, well, I take one unit of long riders, boom, there's one free solo, you know? One thing I did notice is that, what's his name, Horthal, they are paying for Horthal. So it makes me wonder if it's not included on that list of stuff to be free, because they're taking 20 points of long riders. So then I would think the most expensive thing would be Horthal, so for that 8 points. But him on this on this theme force list, he's the full 8 points.
So there's one of two things that's happening there. Either A, he's not available for you to take, or B, I'm going to call a spade here. I'll call Privateer Press out on this, is that they intentionally did not make him the free thing to not call out the fact of you get a free 8-point solo. You know, people who are going to min-max or who are going to optimize their list are obviously going to be taking the most expensive solo that benefits them. As an example, the Mercenaries one gives you free solos. Stannis Brocker was always one of the free solos because he's a huge point value for free. You're not going to take a free 3-point solo when you can take a free 7-point solo and then spend the 3 points to get the other guy. To the fact of how it's designed, again, I'm going to call a spade a spade. I think this is an apology theme list. I think Privateer Press went, fuck, you know, with the changing of points, you know, we're trying to get more work out of things. People need to get more solos in. Trolls need their solos to be, you know, functioning the way that we design them to be. We need to find a way of giving troll players more solos without giving troll players more solos. So ergo, here's a theme to fix our fuck up.
That's true, yeah. And it could be just, it could specifically say non-character solo, or it could say these specific solos like they did with the Mercenary.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. Nope, it can't be non-character because they put Scaldy in there.
Isn't Scaldy an attachment, though? Because I don't think he's a solo.
Yeah, he's not a solo.
You're right.
He's an attachment, so that's what I'm thinking.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
It's, you know, we're doing a little bit of hearsay, so everybody please keep in mind that once this list comes out, that what we're saying probably won't even apply because we might have gotten stuff wrong, but we felt the need to discuss it because this is the continuing trend. Like, we have not seen, I think, honestly, the ultimate tell is going to be when the troll command book comes out, because that's going to be the first time where it's not, here's onesie twosie, let's slip you a theme force in the no quarter. Here's a book with 6 theme forces in it, and we can see the design pattern. And it may not necessarily actually be abundantly clear in the troll one. Maybe it's a scenario of after we've seen the troll one and the Manoth one and the circle one, then we can be like, okay, we've seen 3 of the 11 that they're going to need to produce. So we can understand the pattern that they're going to go for, and the other faction can start wish listing their theme forces before they come out.
Here's something I did notice, and this is just talking about that command book, is the fact that, so we've got confirmation of Loki. Talked about this in our last cast. We got confirmation of Loki, who is Tannis. Basically come to the terms of all of the new beasts that they have released belong to the new casters. So they even put out that on Bell of Lost Souls, they put out a picture of the new character Jack for Signar.
This shit looks awesome.
I will assume belongs to Maddox, correct?
Yeah, I'm assuming so, yes.
So the command book for Trolls comes out this month, and I think it's like next week or something. my question is, we have no information, no pictures, nothing about the troll. Is that something that they're keeping under key? Is that, so
Absolutely.
that's just definitely something I found interesting.
I 100% think that they got this thing on lockdown for the sheer fact of every book that what was the book that they released? Was it Vengeance, where we basically knew everything that was in the book before the book came out?
I think so,
No,
yeah.
that's Mark III. It was Mark III.
No.
Oh, what was? I hate you.
Get out of here, Devin.
There was a Mark II book where it was an expansion book, and we literally knew everything that was in the book before the book came out. The only reason to buy the book was for the lore. If they're taking lore out of the books, you can't do that. You will be killing your sales by releasing everything. So I think every single book, like even these books where like we've seen, for Circle, we've seen, Kaya 3, and we've seen Loki and all that stuff. There's something else we haven't seen. Just like with Trolls, the Circle Warbeast, there's something we haven't seen, and Menoth too. We know the Menoth caster, we know the Menoth character that goes with Malikov, not Malikov. Frack, what's the chef's name?
Chef.
The chef.
Yeah, the Menoth chef. He's got a big belly.
Oh, you're talking to Malekith.
Malekith, thank you. I call him the chef because he's got a cooking book in one hand, and if I ever get the model, I plan on chopping off the torch and putting a spoon in the other hand and putting the Swedish chef cooking hat on top of his head, and he's going to be the Menoth cook. But we know his character beast, so there's something else that's got to come in that book that we don't know. Like, they're not going to show all their cards, because if they're not putting lore in the book and you know everything that's going to happen, why buy the book?
Well, confirmation, just for anybody who's listening, the street date for the Troll Bloods command book is the 7th. So that is, as we said, next Wednesday.
Yep, less than a week away from when we record on Friday.
I was going to say, it'll go up the day after this podcast comes out.
Yeah, it's the day after this podcast.
So tomorrow.
Tomorrow you will be like, these guys are fucking morons. Clearly they don't know shit.
Let's be fair. They're saying that already.
That's true, they really are. That's why they podcast and not play games.
Yeah, so street date will be the 7th. And stores will be receiving them on the 6th.
All right.
So we can start seeing some probably tidbits when this releases.
Yeah, probably will be like any day we'll start seeing some tidbits.
Not if stores aren't getting them, because they've kept it pretty under key. And I mean, if the delivery date to stores is the 6th, then that means that no one's getting them until the 6th.
I'd be more concerned about distribution centers, because we saw the Minion Theme Force a good week and a half before the no quarter dropped.
Well, I mean, after what happened with the MK3 thing, whether people believed it was intentional or not, I definitely feel like Privateer Press has really pushed for that NDA,
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be disclosing that stuff because there's only one time that a part of a Harry Potter book got leaked. And, and that person got hit pretty hard, so.
It was me. I leaked it.
Funny story that actually did happen in Berryville, Virginia, was where they did it.
You gotta be kidding me. That's ridiculous. All right. So, anything else on this topic, you guys?
I think that just the biggest thing is, even though we've now seen 5 theme forces, we don't know the development pattern. We're starting to see signs. There's starting to be this pattern of free models, free support solos, stuff like that. It's really going to boil down to what is Privateer Press's long game, which nobody knows right now. And we're just gonna have to see how they play out. But I think I still have a concern, and I'm gonna preach this until I start seeing the other things. I still have a concern of these theme forces kind of fall into this territory of you take them or you're not good, and I have concerns over that.
Something I just noticed is that if you read the actual for the new Forces of Hordes, Trollblood's command book. It says Trollblood's command provides the foundation every Trollblood player needs. It features a complete listing of all current warlocks and war beasts released to date, in addition to 2 new warlocks who we know as Madrak 3 and Horgul, 2 gargantuan war beasts, and a selection of new core units and solos from the faction.
So the gargantuan war beast we know is the Sea King.
Is the Sea King.
That'll be cool to see. So that's the first faction to get a 3rd gargantuan.
Oh my! I was about to say, holy crap! What if the Sea King is bonded to Ragnar, but his lore doesn't put him anywhere near the sea. So scratch that thought.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, a bonded gargantuan. Blech.
That'd be fucking horrifying.
Yeah, and looking at the one for Protectorate of Menoth, it says that all current warcasters and warjacks released to date. 2 new warcasters who we know is Tristan and
Fiora 3.
Yeah, Fiora 3.
A new character warjack and a selection of new core units and solos. So it looks like maybe we're not getting a character war beast. Maybe we're just getting the Sea King.
Because you're getting a Sea King, you might not be. That's crazy. Huh.
Well, keep in mind, they told us at Lock and Load this year, I don't know if it was necessarily in the keynotes or if it was just conversation that we heard, but they told us that moving forward, factions are no longer going to get linear upgrades. And by linear upgrades, I mean you're not going to have a scenario where if this go around of releases is 2 casters, a beast, a solo, and a unit. In old days, every faction would get 2 casters, a beast, a solo, and a unit. Matter of fact, when you transitioned over to the Warmachine to Horde side, they usually kind of carried a similar feel to it as well. But Privateer Press said they're no longer doing linear releases, so it's a scenario where one may be getting a gargantuan like Trolls, one may be getting a character heavy like Menoth, one may be getting a character unit like Legion or something like that, and it's just they're no longer going to be lined, which in theory makes Privateer Press's job harder, because then you're going to have imbalance from a holistic standpoint, but still balanced within the faction.
I think that's definitely something cool that it kind of makes me excited, because I definitely remember when we had the last book for we had Exigence and then the other one that came out for Hordes. I mean, we knew that, hey, we're getting a character beast, or we knew we're getting this, And I think this is kind of cooler because, we might have a little bit of the information to let us know, what might be coming. But still, I mean, the simple fact of it is you may not know what's coming out in your book. And I think that's definitely a good play on Privateer Press's part, because that is quite exciting.
It is. It makes it nice, because it's like you don't know, you're hoping. It's like, am I going to get something here? Am I not? Am I going to be pissed? I mean, I know I'm going to be pissed at some point, but I don't know if I'm going to be pissed because I'm not getting that, or just because I'm like, I got this cool shit. Fuck it, I can't play. This is bullshit.
You play Signar, so everything's good.
Hey, yeah, it's true. I don't know. I keep hearing like there's like the fear that Haley 2 is gonna lose one of her big spells. Yeah, that's the fear from the errata, that she's gonna lose her +2 defense against like range attacks.
She's gonna lose Dominate. Oh no.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Well, it'll definitely be interesting to see. But I think we're good, guys.
I think so too. That's I think it's time to wrap it up for the day. Any final thoughts?
I will definitely when I get the command book in, which I should be getting in hopefully next week. When I get the command book in, I will post I will post the tier list up so that people can see it in all its
glory.
abilities. So
Perfect.
Well, and are we going to do an unboxing review of that, since that's the first one?
We can. I should be getting it next week. It's not 100% confirmed, but I should be getting that. So we can definitely discuss that.
Perfect.
Cool.
All right. So with that, we want to thank you guys for listening to another episode of Turtle Extension. Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Bye, guys.